Ugh, yet another instance. It's like begging for anything here. Let's get back to Fox
on both
News.
sides. The ABC News poll that came out yesterday showed a little bit of an upswing for Harris at 52-46. And then asking who won the debate, ABC News poll 58-36 as well on that front. But President Trump still up in the swing states, or at least within the margin of error. And in talking to undecided voters who will decide the election, they thought that Trump won, or at least they did on the economy, and that's their most important issue. So what should we...
That's crazy. Undecided voters also thought Kamala Harris won the debate. The only issue that people thought Trump won the debate on was the economy. And even then, it was by very slim margins. That's so funny.
We make of all this.
You know, I think back to these personal anecdotes that are outlined in the New York Times of voters, and one such came from a woman named Judith. She was about a mile outside of the Harris event in Pennsylvania on Friday, and she said, I thought Harris did a wonderful job in the debate, but I need to know more about where she stands economically. This is a woman who works for the school bus system, makes $7.25 an hour. Her rent went from $675 to $1,000, and she finds herself supporting President Trump because of the economy. When you have a universe in that ABC poll of 3% persuadable likely voters, only 3%, on the margins things matter. The economy is in Trump's column, and you have to wonder, when is the game changer moment for Kamala Harris coming? The polls are razor thin. She had her
The funniest part about this is, like, this represents a failure of Trump's, like, bare minimum campaign strategy on all fronts. The fact that the economy is supposed to be a winning issue for him, and, like, he can't coherently put together a solid agenda or even point to the failures of the Kamala Harris administration, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration, is a perfect demonstration of, like, how these guys have forgotten how to run. Because why? Because they're too busy yelling about, like, the most unhinged thing you've ever heard of. Okay? That's the problem. The problem is they are so invested in their little hug box on Twitter is actually going to be great for the election. Like, that's the only thing you need to harp on. It is completely ridiculous. Like, bro, run a normal campaign, dude. Run a normal campaign. That's nutty.
biggest audience at the DNC night 4, her biggest audience in the debate, 67 million people. When is she going to get another audience like that? Maybe never.
That's a good question. We'll see whether or not they go back and forth in this debate. This is a Fox News update now on what we're hearing from the former president. He spoke with Fox.
Yeah, the former president spoke. He said at the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break, and Americans should no longer have to pay $6 to avoid the top of the hour ad break. It was $5 under my presidency. It's $6 under Brandon's. You decide. All right. We will now look at the new polling results after the debate to see what kind of a bump Kamala Harris got.
There was this brand new poll from ABC News and Ipsos, which showed Kamala Harris up by 6 points over Donald Trump among likely voters. So what's the problem for the Harris campaign, then, you ask? Well, with us now, CNN senior data reporter at an undisclosed location somewhere. I don't know. Oh, you're still right here? Harry is at an undisclosed location to explain to us why this poll in and of itself isn't either A, surprising, or B, that great news for Harris. Explain.
All right. So, it's not that surprising, Mr. Berman, from my undisclosed location. You'll never guess where I am. So take a look here. National polls in the last month, including leads within the margin of error. Look, Kamala Harris leads in pretty much every single national poll. She's led in 9 of the polls that have been released over the last month. Trump has just led in 1 national poll over the last month, and we've had 1 tie. So the fact that a national poll shows Kamala Harris ahead, not really much of a surprise because, John, pretty much all of them do.
All right, Harry, talk to us about what the states look like, the battleground states.
Yeah, so look, this is about the Electoral College, right? So let's take a look at the average margin. Nationally, Harris is ahead in the average poll by 2.5 points. But look in those 7 key battleground states, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Harris is only ahead by 0.3 points, John. So the bottom line is, in those 7 key battleground states, it's a significantly tighter race than it is nationally, John.
All my Facebook aunts are posting this video. Who really are the MAGA people? Love that.
We could be heading towards one of these splits that we saw in 2016 and in 2000, whereby one candidate, Kamala Harris, wins in the popular vote but loses in the Electoral College. Basically, at this hour, we're right in that sort of weird middle zone where we honestly don't know what's going to happen based upon the popular vote, and that is why those national polls that show Kamala Harris ahead, at this point, really don't matter that much.
Harry Etten, thank you so much wherever you are. Stay safe, my friend.
Trump post, I hate Taylor Swift. That's 8 hours. That's 8 minutes of coverage. The analysis has been torn apart on Twitter. There have been under 5 state polls spread across the states since the debate, but over 8 to 10 national ones. Lots to know more soon. More polls coming in an hour, by the way. Oh, a couple things I want to say. 80% say that Trump's comment about immigrants eating pets is weird. 64% say it's very weird. Okay? Just so you understand. Just so you understand. Like, people do not vibe with this because he's going above and beyond. And the Democrats ain't going to do a goddamn thing about it until it's far too late. Okay? And then they're going to campaign off of it. What's also alarming to me about all of this is that Kamala Harris has a real easy gimme here in terms of like a statement about how immigrants are the backbone of America, that we are all children of immigrants and grandchildren of immigrants. Kamala Harris herself is literally the product of 2 immigrants. Okay? So the fact that she's not even like making a statement about this is honestly alarming. It's alarming for 2 reasons. Okay? Reason number 1, it's alarming because it, 1, totally shows that they don't give a about migrants at all, even a little bit. Okay? Reason number 2 is they are that oblivious to the reality that like the broader electorate sees this stuff and reads it as like at the least very weird, and and I would say a non-zero, like a decent amount of voters across the board see it as just like objectively racist. Okay? 44% of Republicans think it's very weird. 44% of Republicans. Okay? Please, I need you to understand. This is so hyper online. It's so extremely unimaginably online that even Republicans are like, what the f are you saying? Okay? A lot of you look at TikTok comments and think like, oh, well, I've seen a lot of Republicans on TikTok say it's real. It's like, that does not make up enough of a percentage of the broader electorate as you think it is. Okay? This is, yet another instance. It's like begging for anything here, like any minor defense. Remember what I told you. Republicans have lost the capability of reading the room, and they just lean into their worst sensibilities. And it's crazy that the Democrats are not taking advantage of this. Actually crazy, shocking, alarming, worrisome. In my opinion, it's the same concept behind why Republicans don't even like the results of the policies they vote for. The majority of normal Republicans love racist shit, but the moment you start getting real with it, they're not the biggest fans. Yes, they never imagine the understandable, foreseeable outcomes of the incredibly violent and very bad policies that they push for until they are left responsible with those policies. Then they're like, oh, how do we get here? Damn.